Okay, I just want to talk a little bit about Hamas, Israel, what's going on, because we're getting to this point now. I'm becoming unsympathetic to both sides. I'm getting to the point where I just don't want to listen to it anymore. On one side, we've got Israel, who says they were the victim of a great atrocity. Okay, sure, absolutely, definitely. Lots of people were killed, quite horrific. I get getting upset, I get being angry about it. Killed more Palestinian children and innocent bystanders with the bombing campaign and destroyed more buildings in the last week than in any previous conflict between the two of you. So this has been going on my entire life. I'm 41 years old. There's a stat that keeps getting thrown out about Gaza that 40 something percent of the population is age 14 or under. That's how old my daughter is. So the entire length of time of my daughter's existence, this problem has been going on, and it's been getting worse. Every single person that's alive and underneath that stat is someone who was born inside of what the supposedly is an open air prison. I'll get to that in a minute. So there's this huge amount of young people inside of this enclave that have nothing to do with anything really other than just existing. And we've now seen over 2,000 of them die. So Israel's got what they want. What they, the typical role with Israel is you kill one of their people, they kill 10 of yours. And then we go back to the status quo. So it's going to take 10,000 or so Palestinians to die before Israel's even going to consider stopping. That's the standard over time. That's what we typically see with them. It might even be 20 times. So maybe it's going to be 20,000 dead before Israel's willing to stop. They've shown no willingness so far. You have Ben Shapiro, who's now talking about nuclear exchanges. Last night, Israel bombed Lebanon and bombed multiple buildings, quote, calling it civilian or calling it military infrastructure, but showing pictures of civilian houses being blown up. Hezbollah is not launching missiles from civilian tower blocks, so Israel has no legitimate reason for doing this. This comes after Israel bombed a Reuters reporter and killed them, injuring two others. No legitimate reason for such an attack. Their claim is that Hezbollah or someone in Lebanon fired at them, so their response is to disproportionately bomb a whole bunch of buildings and other things. Meanwhile, Israel has said the reason, part of why they don't want to go into Gaza is because they're worried about the response from Hezbollah and Iran. So what did you do? You went and bombed them. You're losing sympathy. I have little sympathy for someone that goes and bombs another country inside of their territory. So far in the last week, Israel has bombed Syria, has bombed Lebanon, and has threatened Iran. This is not in any way trying to calm the situation. This is making the situation worse. Israel has fired off white phosphorus into Gaza. This is illegal. It's a war crime. They have turned off water to the Palestinians, and now they have apparently turned it back on, saying, "Oh, well, we turned it back on." Well, you turned it off. It was a war crime. You don't just stop people, innocent people, from getting food and water and blocking humanitarian supplies and expect people to support you. But that's what's been going on, and that's what we're expected to do, is just continue to support it. So I have a lot of issues with Israel. And then I'm going to start off by saying I don't believe them when they say, "Oh, this was just an unprovoked attack. We had no idea whatsoever. It just happened. We totally were caught off guard." I have great difficulty accepting this. I just do. Israel, it's like a fortress. How they were unable to see all of those people coming across the border and how they had no response. Israel is a relatively small country. It's this like a little bit bigger than Jersey. You can fly across all of Israel in a helicopter inside of 45 minutes. So I would like to know why it took hours for the military to respond to a border that's already heavily defensed. So I don't believe it's real suspicious to me that Bibi was having real problems forming a unity government, was facing massive protests from the civilians, and then all of a sudden, Hamas comes along, saves the day. Now he's got a unified government. Nobody's questioning him. All the corruption scandals are gone, and the world is just saying, yep, bomb Gaza. This makes no sense to me. So now we come to the Palestinian side. Well, on the Palestinian side, watch an interview with any Palestinian supporter, and all they can do is say, 75 years ago, blah, 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 blah. That's all they can do, is just complain about 75 years ago and call Israel the occupiers and say this, that, and the other thing. Anything but actually acknowledge what Hamas did. And some of them are even refusing to condemn it, refusing to say that it was a bad thing. And they just say, oh, well, what do you expect? The occupiers forced us. No, they didn't. No, they did not. That's absolutely false. In the 2015 engagement, Hamas purposefully targeted Israeli soldiers, killing 62 of them or so, something like that, and then only killing a handful of civilians in that conflict. So Hamas actually does have the capacity to only target military forces. They chose to target civilian forces this time. So that was a willful choice on their own. The fact that Palestinian activists won't condemn it is a huge problem. You have to condemn intentionally targeting civilians. Hamas released videos of their fighters going in to that concert and shooting at porta potties. Porta potties with, they don't know who's inside of it. Could be women, could be children. Doesn't matter. They shoot them. They have the audacity to claim, oh, I'm a Muslim and Muslims are forbidden from killing women and children. Well, you did it. You did it. You set houses on fire. You recorded yourselves doing it. Hell, you recorded yourselves shooting a dog. I'm sure that you thought that was going to get you a lot of sympathy, right? This is the problem I have. No willingness on basically either side to acknowledge the things that they are doing that are wrong. No willingness on either side to acknowledge the things that they are doing that are leading to this conflict continuing. No acknowledgement from either side that in order for this conflict to stop, both of them, and I do mean both of them, I mean Israel and Hamas, have to agree to stop killing each other and come to the negotiating table. Israel, for their part, says they want to destroy Hamas. That's not a realistic goal. It's not possible. First of all, you created them in the first place, Israel. You own this all on your own. This is you that did this. You created a monster. Now you get to deal with the problems of it. Hamas is an ideology. It's not going away. So just stop. I'm sick and tired of hearing it. I'm sick and tired of the excuses. The world exists now. It doesn't exist 75 years ago. It doesn't exist 50 years ago or 40 years ago. It exists today. I'm tired of the excuses. It's time to find a solution to this problem. What that solution is, there are a variety of them that can work. I really don't care which one it is, but it's time. No more bloodshed, no more violence. It's time to stop. And I'm tired of the excuses. I won't hear them anymore. Both sides are imperfect. Neither side has the moral high ground on this. It's time for the violence to stop.